You might be surprised to know that violent volcanic activity has happened right here in Arizona in the not-too-distant past.
What if a place could be both one of the hottest deserts on Earth and home to permanent ice caves just feet below? Imagine a land where frozen in ancient forests gleam like gemstones, a volcano erupted 1,000 years ago, and astronauts trained for the moon's surface. Arizona's landscape is far from the barren desert most imagine. It hides astonishing contradictions that have baffled scientists and explorers for centuries, from a mile-deep canyon revealing 2 billion years of Earth's history to underground caverns holding secrets never before seen. Arizona challenges everything we think we know about nature. Hidden ice beneath desert heat. One of the most startling contradictions of Arizona's landscape lies beneath its scorching surface, where permanent ice caves exist just feet below blistering desert heat.
Let's go spelunking. I'm Zach Perry with ABC 15, and we're exploring the Lava River Cave up near Flagstaff.
Near Flagstaff, inside volcanic lava tubes, a unique microclimate traps dense, cold winter air, creating subterranean chambers where water freezes in place. Despite summer temperatures soaring above 110 degrees Fahrenheit above ground, visitors can descend into these dark caves and stand next to walls of ancient solid ice that never melts. This phenomenon challenges everything we expect from a desert environment and hints at a hidden, frozen world below. The volcanic tubes themselves are relics of past eruptions, long tunnels carved by flowing lava that have since cooled and hardened, forming a natural labyrinth beneath Arizona's surface. Over time, cracks and openings allowed cold air to seep in during winter months. Because the caves are sealed off from sunlight and insulated by thick volcanic rock, temperatures inside remain low year-round. The resulting ice formations preserve water that trickled in thousands of years ago, creating a subterranean reservoir invisible to the desert dwellers above. This frozen microenvironment is not only unusual for a desert, but also rare worldwide. Unlike polar regions, where ice is abundant, here it defies the extreme contrast between surface heat and underground cold. The preservation of ice in such conditions invites scientists to rethink how geology and climate interact in complex ways. It also raises questions about potential undiscovered frozen reserves hidden under other arid landscapes around the globe. The mystery deepens when considering how these ice caves have remained stable despite the intense heat and dry conditions outside. Experts believe that the exact shape and airflow patterns of the caves create pockets where cold air becomes trapped, effectively preventing warmer air from penetrating deeply. This natural refrigeration process is subtle and delicate, easily disrupted by human activity. Protecting these fragile ecosystems is now a priority for researchers and local conservationists. Visitors who explore these lava tubes often describe a stark sensory shift. Outside, the sun beats down relentlessly, yet inside the caves, cool silence dominates. The experience is surreal, confronting common assumptions about deserts as desolate, barren, and lifeless. Instead, these caves reveal how much complexity and hidden life can exist beneath seemingly inhospitable terrain. They are a reminder that nature's designs often conceal astonishing surprises beneath the surface. Tourism and exploration in these caves have grown steadily, attracting scientists, spelunkers, and curious travelers alike. However, controlled access is necessary to prevent damage to the fragile ice formations. Studies conducted here also yield insights into ancient climate patterns, as ice layers capture atmospheric data preserved over millennia. By analyzing trapped bubbles and mineral deposits, researchers piece together Earth's evolving environment. One intriguing consequence of this underground freezing is its potential role in regional water cycles. The ice within the caves may slowly melt and seep back into the watershed, influencing local streams and vegetation. In an area often plagued by drought and water scarcity, these subterranean reserves could hold hidden value for sustaining ecosystems. Understanding this water storage challenges simplistic views of desert hydrology. The persistence of ice in such an unlikely place speaks to Arizona's geological history and ongoing climate dynamics. Beneath the blazing sun, a frozen vault endures, an emblem of the state's extraordinary natural contradictions. It is a secret world that stretches our imagination and invites deeper exploration, with stories waiting to be uncovered beneath the heat and sand. As the desert holds this frozen enigma, it also guards another ancient marvel, the petrified forests that glitter like gemstones in the sunlight. Petrified gemstone forests. Scattered across northeastern Arizona's dry desert floor lie one of the planet's most breathtaking natural wonders. Ancient forests turned into solid stone, gleaming with the colors of quartz, jasper, and amethyst. These petrified trees, towering and massive, are fossils over 200 million years old, preserved in crystalline detail. Unlike fallen wood, you might imagine, these trunks do not decay or splinter. Instead, they shimmer with the minerals that replace their original organic tissues over time, transforming them into dazzling gems embedded in the earth. The process began millions of years ago when dense forests grew in prehistoric climates radically different from today's desert. When these ancient trees fell, volcanic ash and floods rapidly buried them under layers of sediment and mineral-rich water. Over centuries, the wood's organic molecules dissolved and were replaced molecule by molecule with silica compounds. This slow, natural crystallization created living relics with the appearance and hardness of gemstones. The variety of minerals present determines the colors and textures seen in the petrified logs. Amethyst adds purple hues, jasper brings reds and yellows, and quartz crystals give a translucent sheen. Visitors to the Petrified Forest National Park marvel at how these colorful stone trees create an eerie yet beautiful landscape, seemingly frozen in time. Their preservation grants scientists a window into Earth's distant past, revealing flora and climate conditions that long disappeared. This gemstone forest is kinda different than most typical petrified wood you might find elsewhere. The size and the overall quality of the petrification are just extraordinary, so it feels like a natural museum of mineralogy and ancient biology mixed together, kind of in a single place. It also has clues tied to volcanic activity and sedimentation going on around the Triassic period. And the sheer mass of these fossilized trees, some well over 100 feet long, honestly feels hard to picture. It makes you wonder about the slow craftsmanship of geological time. For indigenous peoples and early settlers, this petrified wood wasn't just something pretty. It held cultural importance, used for tools, jewelry, and a lot of stories, lore. Today, keeping these ancient treasures safe is critical because illegal collecting still threatens their survival. There are strict protections in place, so visitors can enjoy the forest without disturbing this fragile legacy from Earth's deep history. Beyond how beautiful it is, and even beyond the science, the petrified forest also shows the shifting forces that shaped Arizona's landscape. It weaves biological and geological narratives, like it's telling tales of growth, breakdown, burial, and then a kind of rebirth in stone. That blend makes the desert feel more layered. It suggests that under all that harsh outer surface, there's a story as intricate as any tropical ecosystem, even if the surroundings look nothing alike. When you walk among these stone giants now, you get this humbling sense of scale, like geological time is bigger than your own timeline. These trees predate the dinosaurs, and they remind you Earth never stops changing. They stand as natural monuments to transformation processes that are rarely seen in that same way anywhere else on the planet. And they hold mysteries waiting to be worked out beneath Arizona's sunlit ground. so there's always more to unravel. From gemstone forests to fiery craters, Arizona's landscape continues its astonishing tale, shaped and scarred by volcanic forces still alive beneath the earth. Arizona's volcanic legacy. Arizona is often imagined as a hot, dry desert, but beneath this arid facade lies one of North America's most active volcanic regions, the San Francisco Volcanic Field. Spanning over 1,800 square miles, this area contains hundreds of volcanic vents, cones, and lava tubes, a powder keg of geological activity that has shaped the landscape dramatically over millions of years. Only 1,000 years ago, the youngest volcano, Sunset Crater, erupted, leaving dark ash fields still visible today, as if the firestorm ended yesterday. The eruptions of the San Francisco Volcanic Field were not quiet events. Indigenous peoples residing in the region witnessed skies darken with ash and fiery rivers of lava consuming vast valleys. These fiery displays were as terrifying as they were transformative, changing ecosystems and influencing migration and settlement patterns. The volcanic deposits also fertilized soils, playing a role in reshaping Arizona's flora. The continuous presence of volcanic features contributes to the region's geological diversity. Lava tubes formed during eruptions provide the shelter for the ice caves mentioned earlier, linking volcanic activity to Arizona's unique subterranean microclimates. The jagged black ash fields and volcanic cones create a lunar-like surface that would later attract NASA's attention as a training ground for astronauts. While some volcanoes in the area stay dormant, the geological record seems to suggest the whole region is still working. Magma is moving slowly under the Earth. Researchers keep a close eye on seismic activity. They watch for signs of what might come next, like another eruption. This continuing volatility brings an unpredictable kind of excitement, but also a really strange beauty to Arizona's environment, where fire and ice coexist in a way that feels almost balanced, almost too perfect. Volcanism has also kind of shaped human history and culture here. The volcanic scenery holds sacred meaning for Native American tribes, and in their stories, they describe the Earth's intense, fiery powers. These communities still protect and explain volcanic sites today, mixing inherited wisdom with modern science in a way that never feels separated. And that volcanic legacy doesn't just stop at rock and ash. It shows up in Arizona's ecology too, because the lava-based terrain gives niches for many species, places to settle in rich volcanic soils, plus shelter from lava tubes and rocky outcrops. That back and forth, this lively interdependence, helps ecosystems survive even when the desert pushes back with heat and dryness. So it's hard to call Arizona a lifeless wasteland. Not really. Getting the volcanic history right is basically the key to seeing Arizona's wider geological story. It reveals how flame shaped the land beneath sun-baked dunes and towering canyons. In the end, it feels like a reminder, a living testament to nature's fire-forged artistry, a critical chapter in the Canyon State's older, deeper narrative. Volcanic fields, gemstone forests, and frozen caverns all converge to create a landscape that is as mystifying as it is breathtaking, setting the stage for one of the most unique training grounds ever used by humankind. NASA's Lunar Training Grounds. Arizona's volcanic landscapes have a curious connection to human space exploration, earning them a place in NASA's history as one of the most effective lunar training grounds on Earth.
It's exciting, and it turns out a lot of the work being done to prepare those astronauts happening right here in Arizona.
In the 60s and 70s, astronauts like Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin trained around the meteor crater and nearby volcanic fields, preparing for the Apollo missions. The terrain's similarity to the moon's barren, rocky surface made it an ideal testing ground for lunar rovers and EVA suits. Walking the volcanic ash and jagged rock formations, astronauts learned to navigate and collect samples in conditions eerily like those they would face in space. Meteor Crater itself is a nearly pristine impact crater, formed around 50,000 years ago when a meteor slammed into the landscape at high speed. Its nearly perfect shape and rugged surroundings mirror the airless, crater-studded surface of the Moon, offering practical scenarios for mission rehearsals. NASA scientists and astronauts studied how to maneuver over uneven landscapes and handle samples in pressure suits, insights that proved invaluable for the first manned lunar landings. The lake of volcanic ash fields extending miles around Meteor Crater helped simulate moonwalking conditions, testing mobility, endurance, and geological collection techniques. Training in this environment ensured astronauts were prepared for the unexpected challenges they would encounter. It was not simply about physical fitness, but about developing intuition for a world utterly different from Earth. Even now, NASA keeps using parts of northern Arizona desert as this sort of testing and training ground for upcoming missions headed for the Moon and Mars. Both robotic rovers and actual human crews end up doing drills here where the geologic variety feels like it belongs to some alien place. That ongoing use really highlights how Arizona still plays this steady role at the meeting point of natural amazement and next-level technology. The volcanic highlands work like a hands-on classroom, but it's far off from any neat lab. So in a way, ideas collide with the messy, gritty facts of exploration. Here, technology and human know-how get polished together, and the landscape basically writes its own lesson because it was shaped by fiery processes again and again. It feels like proof of Earth's ability to echo the cosmos right inside its own irregular terrain, not just in theory, but in plain view. At the same time, the know-how gathered from these exercises does not stay trapped in the space program. It spills over into geology and environmental science, and even planetary defense plans. By studying impact craters and thinking about extraterrestrial surfaces, we learn how to read what happened and how to respond. Arizona, with all its exposure to ancient cosmic violence, now teaches humanity to push out farther into space, with more assurance than before. And yes, having NASA on these tough grounds adds an extra layer of modern human achievement to an even older geological story. A location that has literally watched meteors slam down hard now turns around to offer stepping stones for humankind's large leaps beyond our planet. It holds, in one spot, that odd mix of old disasters and future ambitions, like the past and what comes next are sharing the same horizon. From the lunar simulators of the desert, our gaze drifts to a natural wonder that reveals nearly 2 billion years of Earth's secrets etched deep into Arizona's heart. The Grand Canyon's geological story. Few natural wonders rival the Grand Canyon for its breathtaking scale and profound geological significance, and nowhere is this more evident than in its layered rock bands, which chronicle nearly 2 billion years of Earth's history. Peering down into the mile-deep chasm is like looking through a sprawling geological archive, exposing basement rocks that predate complex life itself. These ancient formations serve as a tangible timeline stretching back well beyond the dawn of multicellular organisms, illustrating the planet's evolving surface in vivid detail. The canyon's formation defies popular notions of sudden catastrophes. Rather, it was carved meticulously over 5 to 6 million years by the persistent flow of the Colorado River. This slow and relentless erosion sliced through uplifting plateaus and ancient strata, gradually unveiling the Earth's deep past. The sculpting power of water against rock is the ultimate testament to patience and natural force working hand in hand. Each layer of the Grand Canyon tells a chapter: sedimentary rocks, fossil-rich limestones, sandstones, and shales reveal ancient environments ranging from tropical seas to vast deserts. These deposits include marine fossils like crinoids, and brachiopods, remnants of times when this region sat near the equator beneath warm, shallow waters. This unexpected record contrasts sharply with today's arid climate, highlighting dynamic shifts in geography and climate over vast timescales. Beyond scientific interest, the canyon's immense dimensions kinda challenge any photograph or description to really fully capture its grandeur and scale. Its vastness underscores energetic and geological processes way beyond any human lifespans, and it's this canyon that invites both awe and a sort of humility too. It's like a mile-deep scar on the planet's surface, shaped by forces reaching deep into geological time. The Colorado Plateau, uplifted nearly 6,000 to 7,000 feet millions of years ago through tectonic action, gave the river the elevation needed to slice downward. That uplift also shifted wind patterns and rainfall distribution across the western United States, further locking Arizona into its desert identity. The plateau's rise and the canyon's excavation are intertwined stories of earth motion and erosion, not separate things at all. The canyon's layered beauty has even preserved a kind of window into environmental as well as evolutionary changes, offering records that help geologists decode Earth's past climates and life forms. Inside these walls, the transition from primordial seas to lush coastal environments shows up clearly, painting pictures of ancient ecosystems that once thrived here. As we descend from the heights of the canyon's history, shadows fall over the Earth as it hides yet another secret: sinkholes and caverns that suddenly appear where solid ground once was. Sudden sinkholes and subterranean caverns. Arizona's landscape holds secrets not just on its surface, but far beneath, where vast networks of caverns and sudden sinkholes disrupt what seems like solid ground. In regions like Sedona and the Verde Valley, the Earth hides massive subterranean chambers formed over millions of years beneath layers of desert sand and sandstone. These underground voids lie within the Redwall limestone, a 300-million-year-old rock stratum created when ancient seas covered the area. The slow dissolution of this limestone by acidic groundwater carved an intricate Swiss cheese-like maze hidden from view above. This phenomenon of underground erosion leads to what geologists call karst topography, where the ground essentially collapses, swallowing whole parts of the surface without warning. These sudden sinkholes often appear with little to no visible signs beforehand, creating natural traps and windows into an unseen plumbing system. Sites such as Sedona's Devil's Kitchen and the water-filled Montezuma Well are infamous examples where ceilings of these caverns have given way, revealing vast chambers beneath with eerie openness. The process behind this collapse is gradual yet relentless. Acidic water slowly eats away the limestone over millennia, hollowing out caverns that eventually grow too large to support the weight of overlying sandstone and earth. When this support vanishes, layers above break and fall into the void below, altering the topography abruptly. These collapses reshape the landscape, often causing sudden geological events that can surprise even experienced locals. Underneath the desert's famously red rocks, these caverns maintain a cool, damp environment, contrasting sharply with the arid surroundings. The subterranean world is alive in its own quiet way, hosting microclimates and ecosystems adapted to darkness and isolation. The water-filled Montezuma Well, for example, supports endemic species seldom found elsewhere, illustrating the hidden biological richness underground. While these geological features are kind of fascinating, they also bring hazards with them. The unpredictability of ground collapse poses risks for construction, hiking, and general land use in the affected zones. Learning about karst topography has become pretty essential for regional planning and for keeping natural landmarks intact without causing unintended damage. Those intricate underground networks also matter a lot for regional hydrology. They help store and route groundwater through sedimentary rock layers, and this hidden flow kind of buffers arid surface conditions. It also influences springs and rivers that support ecosystems as well as everyday human needs. So protecting the integrity of these caves is crucial, especially in a region that's getting more drought-prone over time. Exploring these depths has turned up some of the longest and most fragile cave formations on Earth. Soda straw stalactites, plus other delicate mineral deposits, grow slowly over thousands of years, and it gives this strong sense of timelessness down below. Careful stewardship, in other words, makes sure human curiosity doesn't wreck these fragile natural archives. These hidden caves and sudden sinkholes together show a landscape that's always changing, where the desert's beauty kind of covers up a dynamic, evolving underworld. It's a reminder that a lot of the Earth's drama happens beneath our feet, quietly reshaping what looks permanent. From this subterranean mystery, our story moves upward again to the jagged peaks of folklore and legend, where human history and myth entwine. The Superstition Mountains legend. Rising abruptly just east of Phoenix, the Superstition Mountains loom like a natural fortress steeped in mystery, violence, and centuries-old tales. These jagged peaks are more than geological wonders. They are a stage for legend and folklore, most famously as the rumored hiding place of the lost Dutchman's gold mine. This treasure is said to be fabulously wealthy, drawing adventurers from all over, yet the mountain guards its secrets jealously. Over the last century, countless treasure seekers have ventured into the wilderness, many never to return. The mountain's reputation is steeped in Apache lore, with local legends warning of restless spirits and curses protecting the area. Storytelling blends Native American beliefs and settler myths, creating a rich tapestry of mystique. These tales have only deepened the mountain's forbidding aura, where the harsh terrain and sudden weather changes claim as many victims as the legends suggest. The landscape itself is inhospitable, characterized by rugged cliffs, dense chaparral, and hidden canyons. Navigation is difficult even for seasoned hikers, and unexpected flash floods or temperature swings add to the danger. This unforgiving environment is a stark reminder that the gold hunters face not just supernatural threats in stories, but real physical challenges. Documented disappearances and deaths tied to the search for the lost Dutchman feed the mountain's terrifying reputation. Some people were found hurt or utterly worn out. Others simply were never found at all. And the whole mystery kinda drifts toward speculation about whether the mine is even real. So I mean, is it an actual hidden trove or a purposely spun-up tale to discourage unwanted intruders from a region guarding something else entirely? The legend has been nudging generations of writers, filmmakers, and treasure hunters, each one stacking extra layers onto the lore of the superstitions. Even with skepticism around it, the magnetism of concealed fortune keeps showing up, acting like a marker for how humans stay fascinated by secrets buried in wild terrain. And the mountains, they don't just stand for wealth. They also point to that perilous line between hope and outright overconfidence. Geologically, the Superstition Mountains are dramatic leftovers from long-ago volcanic activity. Their steep ridges and deep valleys are basically evidence of cataclysmic powers. That raw ruggedness has shaped the human stories told there, and it kind of reflects the brutality of chasing fortune with the same unforgiving environment pressing back. Here, nature and myth get stitched together, without much room to separate them. Beyond treasure fever, the region holds diverse wildlife and plant life, species that have adjusted to the mountain's extremes, which gives the cultural mystique an extra layer of ecological richness. The superstitions feel like a symbol of Arizona's wild spirit, where natural wonder meets human imagination in a striking, almost unavoidable collision. For all their mystery and menace, the Superstition Mountains still pull in people looking for adventure and truth. They call out with the promise of discovery. Gold or understanding, pick your poison. They challenge whoever enters to test their luck. The mountains stay a living legend, standing like a guard over secrets buried under their crags, whether anyone's ready or not. Where legends rise from the desert slopes, so do stories of survival and existence amid extremes. Arizona's ecosystems defy expectation and complete this extraordinary portrait of a land like no other. Life amid extremes. Arizona's geography is a stunning study in contrasts, not just geologically, but biologically. Contrary to the image of a barren desert, the state boasts one of the largest continuous ponderosa pine forests on Earth, sprawling across the Mogollon Rim. This vast, high-altitude forest, stretching for hundreds of miles, challenges the misconception that Arizona is entirely dry and lifeless. The forest creates a lush green belt that supports diverse wildlife and provides a sanctuary amid the harsh climates surrounding it. The snow that blankets Flagstaff each winter further breaks the desert stereotype. Sitting at 7,000 feet elevation, Flagstaff receives over 100 inches of snow annually, more than many mountainous or northern cities. This quirky balance means residents can surf sand dunes in the morning and ski down volcanic peaks by afternoon. Arizona's environment is so diverse, it can embody seemingly opposite worlds within a day's travel. Hidden deep within the wilderness is the Wave, a breathtaking sandstone formation in the Vermilion Cliffs. Its undulating curves swirl with vivid bands of orange, pink, and red, resembling a frozen ocean wave painted by cosmic hands. So fragile and rare, access to the wave is restricted through a lottery system, underscoring its ecological and aesthetic value. This marvel reminds us that Arizona's landscapes are not only scientific wonders, but also sources of profound natural beauty. Arizona's ecological diversity includes some of the deadliest creatures on the continent, like the Arizona bark scorpion. This tiny but venomous scorpion can climb walls and ceilings, entering homes through minute cracks. Its sting causes severe pain and can have serious systemic effects. Intriguingly, these scorpions glow neon green under ultraviolet light, adding an otherworldly element to the night desert. Awareness of such dangers is part of understanding how life in Arizona thrives amid extremes. In southeastern Arizona, isolated mountain ranges known as sky islands rise sharply from the desert floor. These islands create isolated habitats where species adapted to cooler, forested environments survive surrounded by arid land. The biological sanctuaries support rare animals like black bears and jaguars, coexisting in this unique geographic corridor. The Sky Islands are natural laboratories for studying how ecosystems survive fragmentation and climate challenges. Further showing Arizona's range is Havasu Falls, sort of tucked away in some remote bit of the Grand Canyon. The waterfalls pour out this intense turquoise blue, and it is because the spring water carries high mineral concentrations. Lime carbonate deposits build natural dams, and they sit there contrasting, in a vivid way, with those red canyon walls. It feels surreal, almost otherworldly, offering a peek at life's resilience and quiet artistry. In a desert so extreme, it barely seems real. Arizona's biodiversity goes even deeper, to underground caves like Kartchner Caverns, which were discovered in 1974. Inside, you can find delicate soda straw formations, plus ongoing mineral growth, all guarded by strict preservation rules. The caves are humid, dark, and mysterious. So compared with the sun-baked world outside, it's a total contrast. And there you see yet another hidden facet of life, sustained underground. They serve as reminders that Arizona's biological story is basically adaptation to countless small niches. The state's ecological mosaic is incredible, And the fact that it has to work through a harsh climate makes it even more striking. In Phoenix, summer temperatures can jump past 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Life keeps going anyway, through clever, sometimes almost stubborn adaptations, from heat-tolerant plants to nocturnal animals that dodge daytime extremes. That resilience ends up painting Arizona as a place of survival and amazement, where living things teeter on the edge, yet still flourish spectacularly. Arizona is more than a desert. It's a landscape of paradoxes, ancient secrets, and thriving life that continues to surprise and inspire. From frozen caves beneath scorching sands to forests of stone, this state challenges everything we think about nature. If this journey opened your eyes to Arizona's unpredictable wonders, hit like and subscribe for more astonishing discoveries right here.